And now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our first speaker from water.org in India. In her role, she works with households to create access to water and sanitation services. Please welcome Buvana to the stage.
Thank you, Sarah. That's a nice introduction to me. Vanakkam and a warm greetings to you all. This is one of the great moments standing in front of you all, sharing experiences and learnings through my career. Let me take you all through a story of my first work experience with a desperate community, how the organization that I worked supported them, what were all the challenges faced by me as a manager, as a fresher to the job, and how we solved those problems. Having completed my post-graduation in agriculture, in fact, I was looking for a suitable job. In December 2004, southern part of India had just experienced a sorrowful natural calamity, claimed several thousands of lives and negatively impacting livelihoods of millions of people. I was privileged to be a volunteer serving those communities. Incidentally, that just led me to a job in an NGO which focused on the inclusive growth of the community through innovative funding mechanisms. So there were many NGOs working in the field doing the relief activities. And post-relief activities, very few NGOs stayed over there, supporting the community for livelihood activities through free fishing boats and fishing nets. The organization I worked focused on livelihood restoration through sustainable model called community banking. It was a challenging and interesting task to me as a team to make the people understand the sustainability model. So the organization I worked had previous experiences and they had a few nice strategies and everything. One of the best I should share my experience here is live and learn. I lived with the community. I went to the fishermen community. I stayed with them. I lived with them. I ate with them. I slept with them. It was amazing experience, I should say. In fact, it was difficult for me to accommodate them and live with them. I should accept that. But seeing them getting up on every early morning, like 2 a.m., to go to the sea, to fish, to fill their stomach, that's really, no words to express that. The struggle faced by the community, day by day, it's not easy. It's not a single day problem to be solved. So based on my learnings, we designed model for them to help them improve their economic levels. So it took a time, it took a while, and it had greater impacts. At last, we succeeded establishing sustainable community-based organizations. Though it took a time, it had greater impacts at later times, and it sustained as well. Let me quickly take you all through challenges faced by me as a manager over there and being a fresher. Working in a post-disaster situation with huge damage, that too with a desperate community, with very limited time for training and sensitization, was a great challenge. And mobilizing the volunteers from the local community, as well as retaining those volunteers, added to the challenge. I was really helpless because people were focusing on so many post-relief activities, developing projects, and all these things. So how I addressed those challenges? Number one, I didn't innovate something new, but I explored myself and brought out an important success factor called self-initiative. I realized that I should not wait for someone to come and teach me. I just started on my own. I reached out to experienced colleagues across geographies to learn the concept, to learn the model, and to learn the best practices that suits local needs. That was the first time I realized the power of networking. That was amazing. And number two, I realized that I should get rid of the fear of sharing my problems. I lived in a world, if I share my problems, am I demonstrating my incapability? Later, I shed off from this world of perception, and I started sharing my problems with my fellow colleagues in the open meetings and brainstorm to get new ideas. So these are two important learnings that helped me to shape my career to reach me to the current position here. I used my technical skills on the community banking to establish savings and credit program for an NGO in an urban parts of the Dhaka city, Bangladesh. Later, I joined the team Water.org India, which innovates new ideas to create access to the water and sanitation facility to the households through affordable financing. There were many free and subsidized programs out there in our country. It was challenging to us as well, but we at Water.org continues accomplishing this through client-friendly loan products. Interestingly, because we at Water.org strongly believes in networking, learning from the partners, and innovation. And I'm really happy with what I am at Water.org because of my passion, the way we work, and mainly the inner satisfaction I get at the end of each day. I request you all that these three are important to take forward in your career. So I would like to thank Water.org and Skoll for having provided me such lovely platform to share my experience with best satisfaction, and extremely thankful to my parents, and big thank you to you all from a budding social entrepreneur, a happy mother, yes, and a seeker of lovely life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Thank you.
And take a big breath.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you a question or two.
Sure, Sarah.
And then we're gonna let these folks ask you a question or two.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Do you remember your first big risk that you took when you shared your scare? That's what we call it at Skoll, when you share your scare. When you asked people for help, when you were nervous about doing that?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And that was my first job, and first time as a manager. It was really a proud moment for me as well, because after studying, immediately I got into a manager position. So, but the risk behind the manager position is not easy. Like sharing and, I have to innovate. I have to demonstrate leadership to everyone. So that was really a risky moment sharing. But because I had a huge, fear, if I share my problems, people will think that I'm not knowing that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I was a bit scared on that part. But later I realized that sharing will help me to learn. Mm-hmm. So the moment I started sharing my problems, my learning curve just started growing. And that grew me well in community banking program as well.
Wow. What a great lesson for all of us. I'm sure we've all had that moment where we didn't want to share our problems, but in fact, it was the best thing that we ever did. So on a lighter note, you said that you spent time on these boats with the fishermen, fisherwomen. Did you ever get seasick? Did you have to spend the nights out there?
No, actually, I lived with the community there in their huts. And I, in fact, took one ride in boat. Okay. That was hard. That was like, it's not easy. No? It's not a professional way of boating. It's just fishing. Right. So I have to hold the rope. They asked me to sit in the boat rough as such. And waters were coming from all the sides. My dresses got wet. I was like, oh, what's this? What's this like? So that's not, then I realized this is development sector. Mm-hmm. I should be like that. I should live like that. I should learn this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to let others ask some questions, and please wait for the microphone. There is a microphone. Is there any hands? Anybody would like to ask a question? Yeah, right there.
Can I just make a comment?
Sure.
So I work with water.org in India, and I just wanted to say, Buvana, I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm feeling blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a good note to end on.